The product I'm about to show you is absolutely insane and will solve multiple headaches that I've seen across my clients and other people in the outbound sales space from a prospecting point of view when it comes to building accurate lists. Now, traditionally, when you build a list, you typically refine who your ideal client profiles are, you build a list of the companies, and then you go to find the people within those companies that you want to reach out to. Say you're reaching out to marketers or to HR people or facilities managers, whatever it may be, you typically build a list of companies and then build a list of people based on those companies. Now, Bright Data's Deep Lookup changes that and turns the whole list building process on its head, which potentially can make list building tools and databases like Apollo, ZoomInfo, Cognism redundant. It also could make data enrichment tools like FullEnrich, Clay redundant, because everything can be achieved in one platform. So I'm pretty excited to jump in and show you Bright Data. Look, I don't think it is the end of ZoomInfo, Apollo, Clay, or whatnot, but I just want to show what this tool can do. I've only had a quick play around with it, so I'm going to show you a search I did before. I'm then going to start a new search so we can look at the results in real time. And then I'll walk through some of their documentation and pricing as well. So the platform is Bright Data. The new tool is called Deep Lookup. And I think the headline says it all: search the web like a database. Now, there are lots of instances when you're trying to build a list of prospects where the data isn't really easy to find. It could be because you need to find companies who are using specific software, or you're looking for specific trends like headcount growth or funding. Now, you can find dedicated databases, but it actually can take quite a lot and a long time to pull all of those different sources together. So in the Deep Lookup, you simply type in here your query. So the query I did earlier was find all B2B software companies who are headquartered in the UK with greater than 500 employees. They've posted HR people operations roles in the last 90 days. And I want you to also show me employee growth rate, the current HR related job postings, so which jobs they're actually hiring for, and which HR technology stack are they using. So I've got the initial results here. So first of all, let's have a look. The first result is Sophos. It's telling me that yes, they are a B2B software. I can look at the reasoning why, which is genius, because I can then determine whether it's right or wrong. That will help me then adjust my search in the future. Employee headcount check, it's just saying yes, it has more than 500 people. Yes, they are recently hiring. So it's telling me here that there's multiple search results that indicate HR job postings. And then they are B2B software. The current job postings, so we can see that we've got HR reporting automation specialist, we've got HR operations manager, we have VP total rewards, people analytics, so these people are hiring in the HR team. Employee count is 5,778, so let's see, it pulls it from PitchBook. Employee growth rate, it's not giving me that information. It isn't able to tell me the HR tech stack. Now that's quite okay because sometimes these tools are internal. Sometimes you can find them through job postings, other times you can't. But you can see that for some of the results, it is showing that this company is using Workday. This company is using Workday as well. So what company was that? Computer Center and Capita. So I may have been a bit too broad with this search. So let me just refine it a little more. So headcount between 500 and 3,000. So I'm just going to click that there. So now it's going to generate a table preview to match my answers. So whilst that's working, I'm also going to go and do a new search. So one that I have struggled with in the past is to find B2B software companies that have a free trial sign-up process, and they are established in the sense that they're not early stage. So what am I going to search? I'm going to search, so find all B2B SaaS companies that have a free trial and product-led growth. DTM motion. So what I'm trying to sell in this example is a product onboarding software or product onboarding services. So just finding companies that have a free trial is great, first of all. What I want to find are other indicators that these would be the right people to reach out to. So there's a lot of B2B SaaS companies out there. They launch on Product Hunt all the time. but I want them to be established. I want them to have found product market fit, because that's when they really start to invest in that customer lifecycle optimization, and the free trial to paid conversion is just one of those stages. So I'm going to say with more than 50 employees, and yeah, okay. Also give me the head of growth or CEO verified email. So I'm not sure how good this prompt is, but what we can do here is actually optimize it or enhance this prompt. So I'm going to click that button. So it's reading this, and because it obviously knows how the prompt should be structured, it's updated it now. So B2B SaaS companies with greater than 50 employees that offer a product-led growth strategy with self-service free trial period of at least 14 days. That's good. And include verified email addresses for their chief executive officer or head of growth marketing director based on email verification standards. I don't think that's right. But anyway, let's search. So it's going to take a little bit of time to find this data. So let me just go back here. Here we can see that it has updated these results now. Experian was on here, and I know that Experian has more than 3,000 people. So now I've got my list of companies. So we've got checkout.com. It gives me a description, their number of full-time equivalents, so 2,200. Employee growth rate of 29, so almost 30%. Can't find any HR tech information. Again, it's not really the problem of Bright Data. It's the fact that data is quite hard to find. And recent HR job postings, senior HR business partner. If I click on here, I can see the source. I can go and click on this, or maybe I can't click here. But if I was to export this data, I'd be able to find it. Cool. And let's say add in the head of people, head of HR with LinkedIn URL and email. Right, so I'm going to add that in here. Now, why this blows my mind is I ran a company which did lead research. We had almost 100 people working remotely building this manually. If this tool existed back then, we would have been able to service our clients far quicker. We wouldn't have needed as many people, or we would have needed to sell to many more customers to keep everybody busy. And what would have taken one person manually 40 hours per week can essentially be done in minutes. So whilst this is going, let's jump back into this one, which is still searching. So just wanted to look at the documentation. So this is a really good read. Definitely worth spending just a few minutes reading the documentation before you dive in. What it shows you is that you can enrich columns, which I haven't shown just yet. You can filter columns. And also it skips results. So it skips a result when it can't find one of the main requirements that you are searching for. And then also, where was the other thing? So key success tips. So use natural language, just speak to it like you would normally. So saying stuff like greater than 50 or less than 5 million in revenue. Be specific with geographies, add revenue size or constraints. As you saw in my example, I didn't put a restraint of how many employees. So I went back in and said between 500 and 3,000. And then include industry specific terms. And so some popular use cases here. So find all VPs of sales at a fintech company in New York with 5,200 employees. Find all project management software. So this is for competitive intelligence. Find all project management software with pricing between $10 to $100 per user that offers a Kanban board feature. I mean, this is the sort of stuff that you would have had an intern doing. You may have outsourced this, or you would have done it yourself and spent hours doing it. Recruitment and talent acquisition. So find all chief technology officers at healthcare companies in California with more than 500 people. Find all electric vehicle manufacturers in the United States with manufacturing facilities of more than 500 employees. Brilliant. And in investment, so this is funding data really. Find all Series A fintech startups in Europe that raised between 5 million and 20 million in the last 18 months. So that's just the documentation. Definitely have a look. It gives you some what to avoid as well. Now, pricing. It doesn't really say on their website what the pricing is, but it gives a very, very clear price here. It's $1 per matched record. So that includes all of the columns that you want enriching, up to 10. If you do want additional columns, then it's 0.5 5 cents each. What I would say though is less is more when it comes, if you're building a really specific list, which is already segmented because of the nature of your search, then you shouldn't need that many columns. And it also skips, it doesn't charge you for skipped results. So what does that mean? Let's say that you were looking for 500 SaaS companies with 5 columns. It will search for 500. It only matched 300. So therefore it skipped 200. So you would only pay $300. So we're talking about $1 per lead. Now that's quite expensive in comparison to other tools. But what we need to keep in mind is we may build a list and get the initial seed data of a prospect or a company, and then we go through the steps of enriching. Then we go through the steps of the additional manual research. So we have to make sure that we're not comparing apples with oranges here, because essentially what you could do is the full list build, enrichment and research in one go for $1 per row. So it's a really compelling use case. And of course, they do offer some volume discounts as well. If you need more than 5,000 records, then it will be 20% off with 80 cents per record. When you compare that to manual research, which is a very clever comparison that they're doing here, then yeah, the time big is huge here. The amount of sales reps which are manually researching this sort of data and what they could be spending their time on this is just insane. So let's go back here. We have companies here, so B2B SaaS. So it's got Figma, Intercom, Airtable. Again, I didn't put the constraint. These companies might be too big for my particular service. So how can I continue refining? Let's have a look. Annual revenue range for target companies, geographical focus, industry verticals. Again, I might want to refine it. So I think I did something wrong with the employee count. Why is it skipped? Oh, okay, because verified email. So let's change this. So find all. So at least 14 days include the email. Whoops. Addresses for their chief executive officer or head of growth. So yeah, this bit was wrong. Include the LinkedIn profile and email address. So greater than 50 employees and less than, again, just random number here. So I'm gonna let that run again. Let's go back to this version here. The preview is still loading, which is a little bit, okay, it's opening up now. So we should now have head of people and head of HR. So let's have a look if we found that person. So head of people URL. So is this the right person? Let's have a look. So it's looked at the website. It's got the SAP management team, and it's saying that Brigu is the head of people and ops and culture for SAP UK. What's great is I didn't tell it to look for that person in the UK, but because my initial prompt was for headquartered in the UK, it's found those people. David Smith here is the Chief People Officer at Darktrace. This is pulling the citation here. So it's very similar to the way that Freckle works with citing how the research was carried out. Again, no emails. Again, it might be that I am not putting this in correctly as well. Like I said, this is the first time I'm using this data. So we've got some results here. 50 to 300 employees probably. So I think it's still working because these aren't going through yet. I think I need to continue to let it run. One of the other features is the fact that you can add an additional enrichment by adding a column. So let me just show you how to do that. So let's just say we are happy with this preview. You can add a column, and let's say that I want to find out what their pricing plans are. So pricing plans. Again, I can never spell or speak when I'm recording videos. So the type is a enrich, and then I want to summarize the pricing plans starting with cheapest to most expensive per month or year. So let's just click generate column. And now you can see that this is an instant because it does have to take some time to kind of crawl through the data. So what it's going to do now is go back through the URLs, mostly in this case it will be the URL of these companies, and then start to look at the pricing. So I'm not sure where that went. I'm just going to pause the video. So now I can see that a column that I created called pricing plans is here, and I can see the summary of the pricing. So why I got these results, it just walks through exactly how it reasoned to get to this answer. So the answer that is given me is that there's a free plan up to 3 channels, then there's 5 months per channel or 60 per year. The team plan is 10 per month. So it's given me all this detail. Now I would then use this detail as I'm segmenting my list to build really specific messaging. So that's how that part works, where you can add additional enrichment columns. And now I can click on Run Deep Lookup, and it will go and start to populate this. I'm just using the free trial at the moment. It's going to give me 100 rows per run. And of course, I would need to speak to sales to unlock full access. And of course, we've discussed the pricing. First impressions, pretty impressive. You need to read the documentation. You need to get good at the prompting to get the right results. But definitely worth testing out Bright Data. I'll be keeping a close eye on this. In fact, there's a client that I worked with recently that had a really hard to find requirement. So I'm going to run a search, not on video. But yeah, let me know if you give this a go and how it works for you.